Hi, I'm Megan from Explore Outdoor and today I'm going to be making mince pies. So we've got the ingredients here that we need. We've got 350 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of caster sugar, 225 grams of cold unsalted butter. I've got an egg here which we're going to just whisk up to glaze. We need about 300 grams of mincemeat, which is the filling. You can get this jar from most supermarkets, especially around Christmas time. And then we've got some of our 5 spice and some cinnamon that's left over from some of our other recipes. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to essentially make crumble to start the pastry. So we're going to use our plain flour, pop it in a bowl with our cold butter and then get our fingertips in there, and we're going to rub the butter into the flour until we've got a nice crumbly mixture. Lovely. So we're going to pop our flour in and the butter. And then just get stuck in, and we're just working the flour and just rubbing it into the butter, getting more flour, rubbing it in, and just keep on going. So unlike a crumble, it's going to be a lot more, well, wetter essentially towards the end, because we're making a dough for the mince pies. Okay, so I've got it all crumbled up together now, so I'm going to pop the sugar in. Mix it with my hands. So it's nice and combined. Okay, and then we're looking to get it into a dough by pushing firmly into it. Right, so I'm going to pop a bit of plain flour down on the tabletop so it doesn't stick. Okay, so you can see I've sort of worked it into a ball. It is very crumbly, that's normal. We don't want to add any liquid to it. And take out the ball, pop it onto the side. Okay, and then we're just going to knead it to work into more of a dough. Just keep pushing it together. Okay, so stick with it. As the butter gets warmer, it will become a lot easier to knead. It's really dry to start with and crumbly, but as you work it, it becomes more dough-like. Okay, so once you achieve that sort of more stuck together consistency, we're going to stop so we don't want to over knead it. So there's 2 ways that you can form your mince pies. If you've got a tin like this, a muffin tin like this, then you can form them like mince pies that we all know. If not, we can make little parcels out of it, so the muffin tin isn't essential. So I'm going to show both ways today. So I'm going to split my dough in half. Okay, one half I'm going to roll out flat, and the other half I'm going to split it into about walnut sort of size balls, so about 6 even. Okay, so the dough should make about 12 mince pies. So we're going to do 6 in a tin, 6 on the flat. So we need 6 about walnut sized to put in the tin. Make sure you save enough for your lids. So we're just going to pop them into our tin, and we're just going to use our fingers to press them and mould them. Okay, so we've moulded them into the tin. We're just going to roll out the tops now. I'm going to use a rolling pin, but you can just use a glass or use your hands to pat it out. And then I've got a cookie cutter to cut out the tops, but again, you can just use a glass or a clean jar to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut a couple out and then rework the dough. Okay, so I've got a couple ready, so I'm going to spoon in my minced meat. So So it's about 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, and then we pop our lids over the top. Use a knife just to pick them up. And we'll do that for all of them, get them all filled, and then we'll look at how to do them with just the flat pastry. Okay, so we've got our lids on. We're just going to use tips of our fingers to push around the outside of the pies just to connect the lid to the edge. And then we're going to use a sharp knife just to pop 2 little holes in the tops of the pies just to let the air escape. Okay, and then we just need to use our egg wash. We'll just whisk up the egg. You can use your fingers or use a pastry brush just to brush a bit on so it goes nice and golden brown. Okay, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of caster sugar and cinnamon together and sprinkle that over the top. Okay, so with the rest of the dough, we're just going to show how to make them if you don't have a muffin tin. So make sure our surface is nice and floured, and our rolling pin. Then we're going to roll it out. Okay, so we need a top and a bottom to our parcels, so we're going to split it in half, even it off a bit. Use our mincemeat, spoon a little bit on. Okay, so I'm going to cut these into 4. Don't worry if it's super uneven like mine, we can use the fork to crimp them together and connect them up afterwards. So for each one, pop a little hat on it, and then we can connect around the edges with the fork. Okay, so fresh from the oven, ready to serve our mince pies. 2 ways.